You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. But you're a truth teller and you talk too much. And that is the problem. Because when it becomes about you exposing the traumas that you went through, the weapon that those abusers want to use against you is your silence. It's just like when you're arrested. If you know anyone that has been arrested, saying something, saying too much, vocalizing and trying to justify and explain yourself could in fact hurt you. In their eyes, what they're going to do is perpetuate that abuse against you. So let's make it plain. Let's make it real. Childhood trauma. Whenever there was someone that was abused verbally or assaulted physically, emotionally, mentally, in every which way that you can think of that a person can be assaulted at an age where they couldn't speak up and stand up for themselves and vocalize what they were experiencing or even conceptualize what was happening, the abuser played into your silence, your inability to speak up. Nobody is going to believe me. I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know why they're doing this. They're threatening to do something that's going to further hurt me or coercing me in some type of way if I do say something. So you get older and you realize exactly what happened. I did a previous video on the coercion of silence, and I talked about this in brief detail, and I want to expound on it a little bit more. Because once you become older, whether you're a teenager or you're well into your adulthood, what's happening is they're hoping that you don't vocalize what happened to you, forget what happened to you. They want to reframe that it happened to you, anything to keep you from speaking up about it. Maybe they have less power and autonomy over what they can do to you, or maybe they do. You have to figure out what that looks like. What power plays can they make against you if you decide to speak up about this? Because it takes courage. It takes courage to say, this is what occurred. This is what took place. This is how it affected me. And this is what I'm doing about it now. Let me explain why that might be difficult, especially if you are in a family dynamic. Every genogram or sub-family system comprises of a way of doing things, how we interact with one another, who's in control, how do they maintain control, what happens if they're losing control, how to keep everybody in line, how does the family handle conflict, what happens if somebody violates the boundaries of the family, what are those unspoken rules of the family, what are those things that we're expected to do or expected not to do, who's the governing body of this family. All of these things allow for you to examine what system you are or were a part of so you can see how difficult it is to break from it. Also, in a family subsystem or in cross-generational trauma, a big weapon to maintain silence isn't just coercion. It's the culture that intertwines itself into religious practices and doctrines. I'm not here to bash or condemn any particular religion, but within family dynamics, you have people that will abuse the religious doctrine of the family. And the Christian doctrine, it's when something bad happens, turn the other cheek. It's forgive. Forgive, forgive. Be quick to forgive. And forgiveness is not inherently wrong. It's not. But in a system where you have been the abused, when you have been kept silent because you were expected to forgive because God wants that for you, and that's what they're telling you, they're suppressing your voice, depressing your will to speak up, shaming your feelings about what's happening to you, and expecting you to forgive. So you have a multitude of things going on. You have in your family system those that are trying to abuse what they feel is right based off of what's good in the eyes of the supreme being that you all serve, and they want to keep that silence and that abuse going well into adulthood. And these are unwritten rules that happen even as you get older. So it shows up in other ways. When you have a conflict that needs to be resolved, a system of doing things that need to be changed, a culture that needs to be modified because you see too much, you're seeing a weak foundation because everyone's quick to forgive, but nobody's challenging the very foundation. That's when you get ostracized. That's when you get pushed to the curve. That's when nobody wants to hear from you because you're a truth teller. You're talking too much. You're trying to change the culture. We need for you to maintain the culture. As a matter of fact, we don't need for you to be a leader in this culture. We need you to accept and comply with what's happening. If you can accept and comply with what's happening, what has been happening, great. You're welcome to join us. You're welcome to be a part of the party. But don't go around trying to talk about anything that makes us feel uncomfortable, because that is not what we're here for. You're here to accept and comply. Accept and comply. Your family loved you when you stayed out the way. They loved you when you were happy-go-lucky. You only talked about the things that made everyone laugh, that it made everyone feel good. They loved you when you spoke highly about them, when you gave your acceptance speech, when you gave your thanks and kudos. Oh, to my family that always believed in me, they love that. They love you when you are not rattling the foundation or having anybody to question anything other than what happened to you. They want you to forget what happened to you, right? So it's easier to gaslight when you decide to reflect on those experiences and be vocal about it. You're not in the way. They're not worried about you because you're not in the way. Now, once you start being vocal, they need to either push you out the way or discredit your entire experience. No, that didn't happen, or gaslighting you and those things. Ultimately, if you would have forgave them a long time ago, the way that they say that the religious doctrine of the family has taught, then we wouldn't be having these feelings of needing to have the courage to stand up about what it is that you want to be vocal about. But a platform like this shakes their foundation. It's bothersome. It's worrisome to them because you're starting to be vocal and you're refusing to be silent.